How's everybody doing today? This afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. It is October 9th. I'm doing this lovely video for you. In the lovely fall weather. It was a wonderful, I'm trying to remember, well, the phone said 45 degrees in the house. The thermometer that I got in the mailbox that reads the outside temperature said it was 55. So somewhere between there, somewhere between 45 and 55, I'm going to say it was around 50 or so, give or take, in the valley. Because once I got out of the valley I live in, it wasn't bad. But still in the valley, she's a little chilly. As to be expected, it is October. I haven't sat down and did an actual motovlog in a while. I haven't really rode much this year. I mean, I've did enough to do about 3, 4, maybe 5,000 miles on the bike. Bike's sitting at 38,000. I think I had like 34,000 when I pulled it out at the beginning of the season. So I'd be about 4,000, maybe 5, something like that. I talked about this in the video in the van. I had some trouble with changing tires. The front one I fought it. The back one, as everyone knows, I think from like the last video, and I posted a picture on Instagram, that tire change failed. This time I think when I did the rear this time, I think I finally figured out the technique for it. So we'll find out the next time I go to change tires, see if it was just a fluke or if I know the technique now. So I'm running the Shinko 700 front and rear now. For about the first 3 or 4 rides, it was real choppy. Riding to work this morning, it seemed really smooth. So yeah, a little over 100 miles and these tires pretty much settle in. So the first 100 miles or so, she's a little choppy, and you start questioning, why did I do this? Once they wear in though, and I got a Jeep that wants to ride my fucking ass. Anyway, don't really have any plans for the rest of this month. Normally around the middle or end of October is when I put the last couple years is pretty much when I put the bike away. It's either the end of October or early November. The ammo cans are still in the back of the Explorer. I haven't really touched them. I figured, why go through the trouble to mount them? I'm just going to pull them back off. I'll work on the mount over the winter. I gotta either get some bigger hooks or bend those ones out. The hooks ain't big enough to clamp the bars on my crash bars. That plus I need to get a turnbuckle or something for some rear support. Because I know the weight of the cans or whatever is just going to have, these bars are just going to sag. Because every type of pannier system I see has some type of rear bar that runs across the rear that connects the back so they don't bend inwards. So I either have to make some type of turnbuckle system or break down and actually buy a set of actual pannier racks, which I'm not really against. I don't know. Oh, I also discovered that, what's up, buddy? I also discovered that, when I put the tire back on, when I put the wheel back on, the rear wheel back on after doing the tire change again, I'm gonna have to work on trying to true the rim over the winter. I just got either I gotta true the rim or I gotta replace it. It's got a little bend to her. I don't know if that happened for me walking it home or if it was bent and I just didn't realize it the last time. You can't feel it when you ride, and you can't see it to look at it. You gotta kind of spin it and let it coast to sit and look at it. So I'm gonna see if I can set up some type of jig to true the rim. And more of a fiasco with my wheel spacers. I'm going to buy another new set of spacers, and I'm probably going to end up redoing the fucking wheel bearings and shit, because I double checked what spacers are supposed to be where, and they're wrong. They were put back wrong. So I thought that piece I ordered was supposed to go on the outside, not the piece that they have on the outside, but I just hope it didn't screw up the fucking swing arm. Let's see here. What else? Financially, I'm doing okay. I haven't really dashed these last. I haven't door dashed basically since I got back from Chicago. And part of it is I really ain't had a need to. A couple of my bills dropped down and got cheap, so I get the extra money that I was working DoorDash for. I really don't have a need for it anymore. I mean, over the winter, I'm probably going to start dashing again, because I definitely, over the winter and next spring, I should be in a situation where I should be able to get my my second bike, my touring bike. Biggest thing with that is I keep getting on. My biggest thing is I can't seem to be set on one thing. I'll get on a hardcore kick like for the 2-3 years. I know I keep saying like for the first 2.5-3 years. Well, I've had this bike about 3 years, but the first 2.5 years of this, I was hardcore. I want a concourse. I want a concourse. That's going to be my touring bike. This is going to be my tool around commuter, and I want a concourse so I can do some trips. And then I don't know, like 6 months ago or so, I just see one of the bikes that was a contender when I got the KLR. You know, I wanted the dual sport / adventure life, and for a couple reasons. One, everyone said that, you know, most of your adventure bikes and dual sports make awesome commuters, and I knew I was going to be commuting, but I also wanted to do some off-road playing. And when I was looking purely on price. Now, I don't have to really be focused purely on, you know, how cheap what value can I get for the least amount of money type deal. And I always thought the KTM 990s were just the coolest looking things in the world. I just liked the aesthetics of it. And one day I just hopped on Cycle Trader and typed in KTM 990, and a couple of them popped up in about the price range I was wanting to get into for my second bike. And I was like, well, Christ, this could be a reality. I could have that KTM life I joke about. And then the more I thought about it, I said, wait a minute. Oh no, let me finish this thought. So I was like, you know, hell, man, I already know, you know, the commuting / dual sport life, you know, this, you know, 990 more, you know, 6th gear, more power, you know, bigger bike. It'd be like basically getting on just a more capable KLR. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to tour, I want to get, you know, I need to get away from tube tires, because if you have tubeless tires, that's one less thing to fight with. If you have a flat alongside the road, you can temporarily patch it and get somewhere. A tube, you can patch it too, but that just takes longer. That in more places are, you know, I'm probably wrong on my train of thought here, but this is just what I'm thinking. So then I was like, well, okay, you know, what else is out there? And then I seen this V-Strom 1000. I think it's like a 2014 model, and it's about the price. You know, it's about the same price range, and it's already got rear panniers, a top box, skid plate. You know, someone's already basically through the garden at this bike. Pretty much everything that I would pretty much do off the bat, if I bought one naked, it was pretty much ready. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know, fuck. What's a fucking 2014? And the KTM 990s I was looking at was about, it was like 2007, 2005, you know, somewhere around there. Yeah, that tells you how much KTM will actually kind of hold its value. But anyway, I was real hardcore about that for a while. And then there's like a month where I kind of hem-hawed back and forth between either the 990 or the V-Strom. You know, there's a cut. You know, they're both V twins, L twins, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, the KTM is going to sound just so much nicer. But they're both you know, twin cylinder engines. I do believe the V-Strom's fuel injected. I think the KTM's are too. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that. And then I seen an ad pop up for another local dealer to me. They have a 2009. This is what's hilarious too. Complete the whole fucking set. They had a 2009 Concourse 14. You know, priced. You know, very. You know, it's priced very. Very tempting, we'll put it that way. It's tempting enough that I seriously every day think about just because I literally every month I get a thing from where I took my loan out at, basically begging me to roll my loan over and start it over again. And if I did that again, I mean, I could go buy that bike tomorrow. And I think really long and hard about it every day. I'm not real impressed about the color, but from what I understand, that year there was like 4 color options, and one of the color options I would want is next to impossible to fucking find, because I guess it wasn't something you had to order, and most people just took whatever was there, whatever the dealer had on hand, which would make sense, because most people, when they're looking to buy a motorcycle, they want to take it home that day or soon. They don't want to wait for it to show up. So I know the Concourse would be an awesome touring bike, but again, I revert back to I gotta store the thing for the winter. Obviously, a Concourse 14, I'm not gonna ride it up my backyard like I do the KLR. Now, the KTM and feasibly the V-Strom could be done, but not a 1400cc fucking sport touring bike. That's just not gonna happen. So, goddamn, we're at that time of year where the sun for the commute home is at the right position to just make it fucking impossible to not have some type of sunglasses or deflecting your eyes or something. But no, that's part of my problem, because even before I bought this bike, I hem and hawed back and forth about what I wanted, and like I told everyone, you know, there was 3 bikes I went and looked at in person. I went and looked at a Honda NC 700X. I went and looked at probably a 2001 Concourse, Kawasaki Concourse 1000, and this bike. The Concourse I walked away from because it wasn't running, and the guy couldn't tell me a whole lot about it, and I didn't want to start out on a 1000cc bike. I walked away from the Honda because the price the guy was asking for it was somewhat beat up. The guy used it for what Honda wanted people to use it for. He actually took it on a couple adventure rides, and he never did the first service to it. That kind of scared me off from the Honda. And plus, sitting in the saddle of the NC 700, because it was more of a touring, you know, sport touring seat. It just, I don't know. It just felt restricting. And again, you know, motorcycle was something new to me. And the Concourse felt great when I sat on it. Yeah, even though, I mean, because you know, the seat was supportive, it felt great, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something I want. And I ended up settling on the KLR because it was about the price I was wanting. I was looking for. It's the kind of bike I was looking for, and it was in pretty good shape. I mean, for the most part, this thing was just basically a commuter. And I mean, I've not done any real hardcore off-roading with it, but I've gotten it dirty more than it was from the previous 2 owners, I'm willing to bet. So yeah, guys, I've ran on this. I've ran on way too much in this vlog. Oh, Gopher says upload it all, so we're going to upload it all. We're going to see if he can sit through a probably a well over 20-minute fucking vlog. And we're going to put this to an end, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I'm going to see how deep into the year I can roll. I'm going to try and keep it out around about middle of end of November. I'm probably gonna regret for fucking doing it, but I'm gonna see how far I can keep it out. Start doing some rides around town and shit. And I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you next video. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please feel free to hit subscribe down below. As always, there's a link to the Discord server in the description, and look forward to seeing you. And maybe this will be a sign of things to come. Thanks for watching, everybody.